Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our orientation week. Today is day one of the GiRLiFE Academy orientation week. I am so excited to welcome you all to this experience. Usually you join an academy, you join a coaching school, and then you get access to the orientation and you learn all the things that you are yet to learn, and you get the syllabus and you learn what's happening every week after you've joined. We wanted to do things backwards. We decided that we're going to give you a sneak peek behind the scenes of the GiRLiFE Academy beforehand. We want you to experience what you're going to experience if you should decide to apply for the GiRLiFE Academy. So I'm so very grateful that you have taken the time to be here with us. You know, I don't take it lightly at all that we get to do this incredible work in the world. And I'm so excited to pull back the veil behind the GiRLiFE Coach Certification and really share with you what a joy it is to do the work that I get to do, and our 200 GiRLiFE coaches across the globe also get to do as well. So welcome. Tell me where you are joining in from. I'm seeing all of your beautiful comments popping in. We are going to be here every morning this week from 10 o'clock to about 10:30, 10:45. Sometimes I go over, so I apologize in advance. The last day, which is Friday, we're going to be meeting on Zoom. All of these sessions, Monday to Thursday, are going to be right here on Facebook Live, but we're going to be on Zoom on Friday, and that's because I want to see your beautiful faces. I want to answer your questions firsthand. I want to be there for you to bring you the insights that you need and deserve before making the decision to join a program such as the GiRLiFE Academy. If you're anything like me, you want to know all the things before you make a commitment as big as this one. And so I want to give you all the things. I want to show you what it's all about. And that's what we're going to do today. Today is curriculum day. And before we jump into all of the goodness that you are going to learn in the Academy, I want to take a moment to introduce myself. And I want you to know, I'm seeing all of your comments. We have people from Virginia and the Philippines and New York. I love it. And just keep coming. If you know someone who can benefit from this experience along with us, definitely send them an invitation to this Facebook group, to this experience, because the more the merrier. We get to do this work together, and that's what's so wonderful. So I am Melody Pourmoradi. Some of you may know me. Some of you have been in our circles before in the GiRLiFE world. And for some of you, it's the first time you're meeting me, and I'm so grateful to make your acquaintance. I am a girl mom to 16-year-old girls. I can't believe I'm saying that. They grow so quickly. I am an author. I've written 2 books. My first book is called XOXO From a Girl Who Gets It, and it's 50 life notes for the young girl within. And my second book is called Empowered Women, Empower Girls, a guide to modeling courage, confidence, and self-love for the next generation. And it's all about how, as women, whether we are mothers or coaches or teachers, we have this unique opportunity to pay it forward to the next generation, to lead the way by showing our girls how it's done. And so often people ask me, well, how do I empower girls? And the answer is quite simple. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself what you're giving to yourself. How are you empowering yourself? How have you shown up for the dreams that are on your heart? And know that if you are making moves each day to move in the direction of your goals and your soul, the girls in your world are paying attention, and they're picking up on your cues of what it is to be an empowered woman in the world. So that's really the simplest answer I have. Now, I'm also, as you have gathered by being in this space, I am the founder of the GiRLiFE Academy, which is a coach training certification that empowers women to empower girls. We give you the tools in the GiRLiFE Academy to go out there and work with girls on the front lines, to introduce them to their many superpowers, to teach them that they are powerful beyond measure. I have a question for you guys. If you were told that you were powerful beyond measure when you were a young girl, what would you be doing today? Who would you be? How would you be showing up in the world if, as a young girl, you were taught that you are powerful beyond measure? I want to know. I often ask myself this question, and it's actually the very first question in my book, Empowered Women, Empower Girls. Who would you be if you were taught that you're powerful beyond measure? And, you know, I know that I would be doing the work that I'm doing in the world now, but I'd be doing it 20 years sooner. I'd probably walk through the world knowing that everything is working for me if I was taught that I was powerful beyond measure. I wouldn't constantly go seeking the outside support of everyone else who is not an authority on my life, because I would know in my heart that I already know intuitively what the next right step is, right? Like, we give so many other people in our lives so much power. And the ultimate power lives within us, within each and every one of us. And that's really the truth, isn't it? And isn't that what we want every young girl to know? Nilani is saying she'd be a more confident version of herself, right? You'd be who you are, but you would have accessed that confidence probably so much sooner in your life. And Kavrun is saying, thinks that's so powerful. Truly, I would become some kind of great hero. Well, I believe that you already are, right? It's just knowing it. It's just accessing that part of yourself. And I really want to extend an invitation to the young girl that lives within each and every one of you. Each and every one of you has a young girl who's with you, who's experiencing the world from your point of view. And I want you to bring her along for this journey, because when we get to bring our 8 and 9-year-old selves along with us for this journey, we get to give them access to all of the messages and belief systems that perhaps we didn't have access to as a young girl. So frequently we are conditioned. We don't realize it, but we are conditioned by the outside world. When we're so very young, we are taught what to think. We are taught who to be, how to dress, how to behave, what to believe in, what to stand for. So much of the way that we perceive the world has been placed into our subconscious minds. And I don't know if you know this fact, but I learned this fact about 10 years ago, and my mind was blown that 95% of our brains are our subconscious minds. What does this mean? It means that we are actually playing out scripts and stories that we don't even know exist, because only 5% of our minds is our conscious mind, the parts of our mind that we're taking action from, that we are aware of. The rest of it is playing out. What does that mean to us? It means that we have to be so deeply aware of what we consume, right? What accounts we follow on social media, what we watch on television every day and every night before we go to sleep. What are we reading? Who are we surrounding ourselves by? Who are the people in our inner circle? Because at the end of the day, we start to become the people that we spend the most time with. We start to think the way the people around us think. And it's so important that we become extremely mindful of the information that we allow into our worlds. And I so appreciate these answers coming into the question that I asked about who would you be if you're taught that you're powerful beyond measure, because I think it plays a really important role in the work that we want to do together, for us to understand that, wow, if we had that messaging when we were young, who would we be today? And we get this unique opportunity, this moment in time right now, to be the change that we wish to see in our girls, to change the world one girl at a time, and give them access to all the things we wish we had access to when we were younger. And that is what this is all about. Now, there is a concept, I don't know if you're familiar with it, it's called Ikigai. Ikigai. And I wrote about this in a Forbes article recently that featured GiRLiFE. And it was all about how we can step into a career that really lights us up in all the ways. Now, Ikigai is the intersection of what we are good at, what we love to do, what the world needs from us, and what we can get paid for. And I believe that my Ikigai was predetermined for me from a long time ago, because as a young girl, I always knew that I wanted to be in a position of supporting other people. I didn't know what it looked like. I had to dabble in so many different careers and volunteer jobs and schooling and training to discover what my work was here in the world. But have you ever had that calling, like you knew from a young age that there was something you were supposed to do, and perhaps the world talked you out of it? Perhaps your parents talked you out of it. Perhaps culture talked you out of it because they said, you're not going to make money doing that, or this isn't meant for you, you should do this. Once again, allowing other people to be the authority on our lives. And the truth of the matter is, if we had been given access to our superpowers from a young age, we wouldn't have to listen to all of those outside voices telling us that this isn't for us. And for me, I had the voice of a lot of well-meaning adults telling me that going into this space of supporting other people is draining physically, mentally, and that it's not for me, and that I should set my sights on a different career because it would never serve me. Now, I didn't know what the career was at the time. I thought I would be going into psychology, or I thought I might be doing therapy with children who had autism. I had all these different ideas, but I was swayed away from it and I was steered away from it. I was really immersed into the entrepreneurial world. And that's because my father was an entrepreneur through and through, and I learned so much from him. And he brought us into the family business from a very young age. And I got to see the ins and outs of what it is to run a business. But there was always something missing for me because I knew that I was supposed to be in a field that supported people. And I didn't feel like by selling teapots, I was being of support. Now, I loved entrepreneurship, but I needed more. And it wasn't until I became a coach 16 years ago, right after my daughters were born, that I actually realized that more for me was becoming a life coach, was serving others in a way where I am leading them to finding their own answers, leading them to being their own highest and most authentic expression of themselves. And that's when I finally felt like, okay, the breadcrumbs have led me to the right place, and I'm finally following the dreams that are on my heart. So I became a coach and I started working with hundreds of women. And in working with those women, what did we do? We unlearned the fears and the shame and the doubt that was presented to them in their girlhood so that we could expose and reveal a new version of themselves, the version that was always there, but that had been really covered up with all of the shame and the doubt and the fears and the lies that were fed to them as they were growing through their girlhood and stepping into their womanhood. And when we peeled back those layers of the onion, these women were ready to thrive in whatever it was that they wanted to do. And the question that kept sitting on my heart was, we need to do more. It's not enough for women to finally figure out why they're here in their 30s and 40s and 50s and beyond. I want them to have that power from a young age to know the direction that they're meant to go into and to not be afraid to explore the thing that is pulling on their heartstrings. We deserve to go in the direction of what pulls on our heartstrings, because if we don't, we will always ask ourselves, what if I had been doing that thing that I dreamed of doing? And so we want to create a world where girls are doing what they're here to do, are sharing their magic, are sharing their gifts. And that begins with us women scaling it back and leading the way. Now, I was having a conversation with my daughter recently. She's been watching The Queen's Gambit for a second time. Has anyone watched that show? Give me some hearts if you've seen The Queen's Gambit. It's about a girl who discovers that she loves to play chess and goes on to become a grand master at chess. And my daughter asked me, Mom, how many grandmasters are there? And I said, I have no idea. We looked it up, and then we said, how many of those grandmasters are women? We looked that up, and we figured out that only 2% of women are grandmasters in chess. Now, that's not because women are not brilliant, but it's because there are certain professions that we've been pushed to move in the direction of, and certain ones that we just haven't had the opportunity to explore. I want to see more female grandmasters. I want to see more Malalas. I want to see more Rupi Kaurs. I want to see more girls feeling empowered enough to go after what they're here to do, and to not be limited by gender stereotypes, or to not be limited by people saying, you're a girl, why would you do that? You can't do that. You won't be able to sustain a life doing XYZ. So if you're with me, give me some hearts. I'm going to take a little break, have some water so I can preserve my voice, because we have so much yet to uncover. I'm seeing that some of you have seen the show, The Queen's Gambit. If you haven't, take a look. While it's definitely, there are parts of it that are dark and challenging to watch, it's really a story of resilience. And it's really one of the many superpowers we want to introduce girls to, is that idea that whatever they go through, they grow through. And it's so important to know that the circumstances of our lives, even when they're shitty, are working for us. They're making us stronger versions of ourselves. So while we wouldn't choose those life circumstances, when we experience them and we move through them, there's nothing that we can't achieve or accomplish. So all of this to say that after many years of coaching, I decided that we needed to give girls access sooner than the women that I was coaching with, much sooner. And I decided that I was going to be one of those change makers, one of those wayfinders for girls, by encouraging women to step up and to become girls empowerment coaches. Now, first I had to do that for myself, right? I had never heard of a girls empowerment coach, but I surely wanted to create that title, because I knew that if we had women rising up in this way, doing this work in the world, we would become unstoppable. And our next generation of women would become unstoppable, because we were catching them when they were girls. And that's when I decided I'm going to start running workshops in my local community. I'm going to talk more about these workshops tomorrow when we talk about the anatomy of a GiRLiFE workshop. But suffice it to say, I started running these workshops in my own community. They were super successful. I started empowering our local girls. The parents who brought their daughters to these workshops said, we need more. I need one on Monday, I need one on Wednesday, and I need one on Friday, because this is the stuff that our girls need access to that we never even knew existed. And so I kept on creating more workshops, more topics, more relevant themes for our girls. And the more I created, the more the demand grew. And little did I know that I had this booming business empowering girls, not only in a workshop format, but also because I was coaching them one-on-one. And this really became my life's work. And you know, when you have something good that does so much for you and takes your energy from here to here, and you know that if it's working for you, then you know that other people will benefit from it. That is what I felt with GiRLiFE. And a few years after doing these workshops in my hometown and knowing the value and the potential they have for girls to rise, I turned this into a coach training certification, which today is the GiRLiFE Academy. And I started training other passionate women to become girls empowerment coaches and go out there in their local communities and empower their local girls. And I'm so proud of what has become of the GiRLiFE Academy and the GiRLiFE family. We have so many incredible women in all corners of the world who have joined us to become GiRLiFE coaches, and who are doing this work in their own magical ways, who are out there bringing their expertise to our curriculum and lighting it up in a way that only they can. And this is why we've created this orientation week, because I want to share as much as I can about the GiRLiFE Academy. I want to show you what it is to have a career as a girls empowerment coach. What does that look like? What does it feel like? What is my day in and day out? I want you to meet the GiRLiFE coaches who are out there doing this work. And I want you to consider applying for the GiRLiFE Academy. Now, this is an application process because after years of running the program, I've learned that it's not necessarily for everyone. And so I really like to meet the women who are coming into our academy so that we can make sure that this is in alignment for you and in alignment for us and our mission. So as you hear what we're all about, as you listen to the different workshops that we hold, I want you to really ask yourself if you could picture yourself in this role and ask yourself about your own unique why. Like, why do you picture yourself in this role? How can you be of service? Excuse me. And you will have an opportunity to speak to me one-on-one if you decide to apply, and we can uncover if this is for you. In the meantime, though, I am going to go ahead and start talking to you today about what the GiRLiFE Academy is, what you will be learning. So as mentioned before, it is an online coach training certification. It is basically everything you need from A to Z to coach girls one-on-one, but even more delicious is being able to run empowerment workshops and do this at scale. So it's not just that you're affecting a couple of girls in your community by working with them one-on-one, but you're actually able to do this in volume. And why is that amazing? Because we get to empower more girls. There is a Jewish mystic, I believe the name is Maharal, and he talks about the importance of light. And if we take one candle and we light other candles, that one candle has the power to affect the masses. It has the power to light so many other candles. And what's so beautiful about this concept is that that one candle never dims its own light. It doesn't lose any of its flame by lighting all of those candles. It continues shining brightly, and that's what we get to do. When you step up as a girls empowerment coach, you get to light all those candles. You get to illuminate the path for all of those girls who are in your workshops. And it's truly one of the most rewarding feelings. And when you know, like as I sit here and speak with all of you, I know with everything in me that I am here on this earth doing the work that I was born to do. And yes, I wish I could have started doing it sooner, but there's no time like the present. I'm not focusing on the fact that perhaps I didn't discover my life's purpose 20 years ago. Instead, I'm looking at this path that is before me, and I'm lit up by how exciting it is that I get to share these concepts and principles with you, but that I also get to go out there and empower these young girls and watch them bloom and thrive and grow before my eyes. And know that I may have had just a small thing, small little spark to have lit them on their path to self-discovery. So here we go. What do you get in the GiRLiFE Academy if you should decide to apply and join us as a GiRLiFE coach? Well, in the online platform, you get access to everything. You get access to our curriculum, that's 17 different principles and workshops that we teach, and the A to Z of all of it. How do you run the workshops? What do you teach? We talk about the everything of running a girls empowerment workshop. Tomorrow's the day where we talk about the actual workshop, but today I'm telling you what comes in your coach training certification package. You get the business in a box, you get the branding. So not only do we teach you how to become a GiRLiFE coach, but we teach you how to run the business of becoming a GiRLiFE coach, because I know this firsthand. I've gone to so many different coaching schools, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of them because they have made up what is this trajectory that I'm on right now. But the one piece that I felt was always missing, actually two pieces, after I graduated from my programs was that I didn't have the accountability. So I would get the certification. I would be like, okay, now what? Where do I go? How do I implement? Who's going to hold that space for me to grow and thrive? And the second piece is that I didn't have that business know-how. Now, I had that business know-how from growing up in an entrepreneurial family, but I didn't know how to apply it to coaching. And I had to figure that out for myself. I did the legwork, I put in the investment, I took business trainings and programs, and I've poured all of this into the GiRLiFE Academy. So not only will you become a GiRLiFE coach, but you are actually going to walk away with the business know-how to know how to promote this on social media, to know how to fill up your practice, how to fill up your workshops, and to monetize, to turn this beautiful passion into a profit. Because the only way that we are energetically sustained to do the work that we are here to do is by earning abundantly for the work that we're doing. And we teach you how to monetize this passion and to make a very abundant living while empowering girls. So everybody wins. The girls win, the families that you serve win because their parents are seeing the value of the work that you're bringing to the girls. You win because you are earning and you're energetically sustained to put out more empowering content with our support. And it's just really, it's one of those gifts that keeps on giving forever and ever. So I've also poured into this curriculum this idea of community, this idea of together we can do more. So we have 200 incredible GiRLiFE coaches in our community who are holding that space for you to grow and thrive. And when you join the GiRLiFE Academy, you get your own either partnership or pod of women who are also joining at the same time as you. And you all learn how to support each other and hold that space to do what you said you're gonna do. Because so often we say yes, and we're like so excited and lit up about doing the work, but we lose the momentum and we forget why we started. And the way that we've set you up is to have that connection with the community and with myself, to never forget why you started, to continue on your mission for empowering girls, and to continue in this soul-centered business endeavor. Because at the end of the day, becoming a life coach, becoming a girls empowerment coach is also a business, because you need to know how to run the business of it. And we give you all of that. All right, so what are we learning in the curriculum? And that's really, this is the part where I just get so excited, because this is why we do what we do, because we want to teach girls these very principles that I'm going to dive into right now. And before I do, I want to share with you a statistic. I don't know if you've heard this statistic before, but a girl's self-confidence peaks at age 9. At age 9, it hits a high, it plateaus, and then it drops. And this statistic is one of those that breaks my heart, but it also breaks my heart open and reminds me how much work we still have to do. Because we don't want a girl's self-confidence to peak at age 9 when she's so young. We want it to continue growing and growing and growing for as long as she lives. We want her to get stronger and smarter and more empowered all the time. So we're in the business of changing this statistic. And with these concepts that I'm going to share with you, we are going to change this statistic together by introducing girls to each and every one of these themes that we uncover in the GiRLiFE curriculum. And before we go on further, I want to give you a gift. This is a gift that's going to give you, again, like an even more behind the scenes sneak peek into GiRLiFE and what you get. It's going to show you the syllabus, the curriculum, the information page. It's going to give you everything you need to know, to trust, to believe if this is for you. You can find that at melodypourmoradi.com/info session. And we're going to show you all. We're going to uncover for you. Now, Haley's my VA and she's on the call. And can you confirm that link for me, Haley? Is it info session that gives them access to the info session and all those goodies, the gifts? I want to be sure before we share, but I'm sure you already looked into that. And thank you. I see that you posted it. So check that out, guys. You'll get access to everything. because it will be so valuable in helping you make your decision of whether or not you're going to apply. And if you should decide to apply, there's the link there for you to set up your phone call with me and to see if this is aligned for both of us. So here we go. These are the things that we teach in the GiRLiFE Academy. And they're in no particular order. I usually go in order. Today, I'm just gonna like get crazy and I'm gonna go out of order because this is the way that I want to unveil it today. So the art of giving is one of the workshops that we teach girls. And in the art of giving, we teach them that we rise by lifting others, that in giving, there's so much receiving. There's such this beautiful, abundant feeling that comes from stepping outside of ourselves and our problems and our lives and our to-do lists and being there for somebody else and giving. And that's how we teach it. We teach about a service mindset. And you probably ask yourself, like, how do we do this so that the girls pay attention and stay focused and engaged? Well, we have our own unique methodology. We teach you in the academy how to engage these girls, how to make all of these practices fun for them. So I don't want you to worry about that. All you have to do is show up for the lessons and learn them first and foremost for the young girl within, and then to go out there and take them to your local community of girls. Next is My Diversity Shines. I feel like the name kind of speaks volumes, but it's all about how it is each and every one of our unique fingerprints that is the magic that creates the world. So the diversity that we bring, who we are, our backgrounds, our unique challenges, these are all of the things that make up the whole of who we are. And to not be afraid of what makes us different, but to know that that's actually what weaves us all together. That's what brings us all together. And I want us to move into a world where we are embracing more of everyone's diversity instead of being afraid of what's different. We want to get curious about what's different. Another workshop, and perhaps one of my favorites, is intuition and finding your voice. How important it is to give girls access to their intuition, to let them know that there's this inner voice of knowing that already lives inside of them, that they were born with, that we are so often taught by culture to dim that voice. And we want to actually teach girls to enliven that voice, to raise the volume of that voice, because that is the voice that is going to move a young girl and a woman into the direction that is their path and only their path. So often we fear it, and we want to teach girls the difference between fear and intuition and how to raise the volume on the intuition so that we can really operate as our most authentic selves. The next workshop is Rising into Resilience, talking to girls about how we are like an elastic band, right? When we get pulled, what do I mean by pulled? When we get challenged, when problems arise, when there's contrast in our lives, when things are difficult, once again, we would never choose it. But when we go through it, we also grow through it and we come back stronger. The elastic band doesn't come back stronger, but it comes back just as strong. What makes us different from the elastic band is that we get stronger. We become more resilient with every challenge that arises in our lives. Gratitude workshop. This is the first workshop in our curriculum, and I think perhaps one of the most important stepping stones to the rest of the concepts in the curriculum that we provide. But gratitude, knowing that having reverence, appreciation, and gratefulness for that which is in front of us steps us up for more abundance. More blessings are attracted into our lives and magnetized towards us when we can hold sacred the blessings that are right in front of us. So it's really easy to say, I want to do this and I want to do that. But if we can't be grateful for all of the things that we've already achieved, then how do we think that we can take the next steps to attract more abundance into our lives? Another workshop that we teach is the self-love workshop. And self-love. I mean, were you taught self-love in school? I know that I wasn't. I know that I wasn't taught self-love by my parents or by any of the work that we did in the many years of being in the school system. Why do we need to have self-love? Well, we can't really love another person if we can't love ourselves. And who are we in a relationship with all the days of our lives? Ourselves. That will always be the most sacred relationship that is in our lives. Not your mother, not your best friend, not your sister, not your teacher, you. You will always be the most trusted friend in your own life. And so it is so very important that we can lean into that from a young age, because self-love opens so many doors for us that we never, ever could have imagined. I'm going to take a little water break. And as I do, which one of these workshops is speaking to you? Which one of these concepts do you wish you had access to when you were a young girl? I'd love to hear from you guys. I know that this feels one way, but I'm totally reading your posts. Oh, one of our coaches is here, Nalani. She's saying, I love the workshops. I learn and grow every time I teach. It's a win-win situation for all. Thank you so much. I always feel that way too. Every time I teach one of these workshops, I am exposing a different part of me. A new message is coming through. It's kind of like reading a book. We read the book and we see it with a certain set of lenses based on who we are today. But then that changes, doesn't it? Because we change. Donica says self-love. Lou says self-love. Vashon says intuition. Yes. Christy says all of them are amazing and I wish I had them as a young girl. Amen. We're going to change that, aren't we? Kyrun says definitely self-love. I'm getting a lot of self-loves here. Angela, gratitude. It's a must in our lives. Marcy says self-love and gratitude are key. Brenda says, oh my God, all of them. As a hypnotist, I work with adults and teens for all of the aforementioned reasons. It would be so important to give that at an earlier time in life, wouldn't it? It is the greatest gift that we can give, and we hold the power to give it. Isn't that beautiful? And Danielle says intuition, and Kyrun says definitely self-love. I'm feeling it, and I so appreciate you all sharing. Thank you, Raquel, who also echoes self-love. I'm going to go into the rest of them and keep them coming in. Let me know which ones resonate. Keep those comments coming in. They give me juice. They give me energy. So next is the meditation workshop. Once again, something we are so not taught, and one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves is to learn how to meditate, to find a quiet place in our own mind, in our own heart, to find our own practice. There's no one way to meditate, but we do teach girls in our workshops that meditation is literally available to you in every moment. It's available to you when you're in the middle of an important exam at school. It's available to you when somebody said something that hurts you and you need to find a quiet place to go inside and remind yourself that that peace that you so deeply seek is actually within you. And nobody else can bring it to you, but only you have access to it. It is life-changing, Marcy, absolutely. And that's one of the skills, one of the inner tools that we must teach young girls from a young age so that they can grow with it and allow it to be their companion and guide through their lives. And not just when tough stuff comes up, right? If a young girl would take a moment, not a moment, maybe 5 minutes to meditate every morning, she's setting herself up for success. She's setting herself up for a day that is tuned in to abundance rather than starting the day by scrolling through her phone or looking at what's new on TikTok, right? It's really, really important that we teach girls. It's not just about doing it after something bad happens, but really starting the day that way, starting the day off strong. Next is creative goal setting, talking to girls about how they hold the power to turn their dreams into a reality and giving them the tools and the know-how of how to do it. Happiness is a choice, teaching girls that there are so many emotions that they can choose. And that happiness is one of the ones that they get to choose on a moment-to-moment basis. They get to reach for the next best feeling that is available to them in every moment. Rock Your Kindness, the title says it all. We want to teach girls how to be kind. We want to live in a universe where kindness is like a boomerang, and we continue being kind, showing up in kind ways, and knowing that that's always flowing right back to us. There's this beautiful reciprocity that takes place when we show up with kindness. There are so many ways that we can respond to the circumstances of our lives, and we need to teach girls that they are in power of those responses. It's not about reacting, it's about responding. And I often ask myself, what would the most empowered version of me say? How would the most empowered version of me respond when somebody pushes my buttons, or when someone invites me to an argument or a conversation that is out of alignment for me? How do I respond? Because the way I respond helps us to set this on to a different path. It can go one way or it can go another way. It's like a choose your own adventure book, right? I might be aging myself for my 80s fans here, people who also love the 80s books. You get to choose your own adventure in this one life. And this is what we want to teach girls, that life is not happening to them, it's happening for them. And they are active participants in the way things play out. The leader in me, teaching girls how to be leaders, how to, I think that so often as women, we're taught that we need to step into the masculine to be a good leader. And my goal is to teach girls that they can also step into the feminine, and that divine feminine can actually provide us with ways of being a leader that the divine masculine never could. It's completely different, and we get to use both parts of ourselves, but we don't have to run away from the feminine. We don't have to be afraid of our sensitivities. Our sensitivity is our superpower. So often people tell us to stop being so sensitive. I know I heard that so much growing up, and that my sensitivity would be my end. And I've only had to unlearn that and relearn that my sensitivity is actually what's brought me every success that I have in my life, my relationship with my daughters. Because I'm a sensitive woman, I have been able to harness and hone in the beauty of that relationship. Because I'm a sensitive woman, I've been able to build a soul-centered business that lights me up and lights other people up. These are the things that have, Marcy, so many people would ask, why are you crying, right? Every time you'd get that lump in your throat, people would throw stones and say that, like, that's, your sensitivity will never get you anywhere. I'm here to show you another way, people. Your sensitivity is and always has been your superpower, but you just need to harness it in the right way, right? We don't want our sensitivity to take us down, but we want to listen to it, to tune into it, and to ask it what it's trying to reveal to us. Haley, we hear this all the time, hiding our emotions. Why do we hide our emotions? Why do we have to do that? Our emotions are connectors. They're what allow us to connect with other human beings in such a deep and meaningful way. Why would we hide from them? Why wouldn't we show up for them? All right, next is I Can Heal Myself. Any of you who've attended any of our trainings have heard my story about being a young girl and being riddled with anxiety and not knowing that I had anxiety, and furthermore, not knowing that I had the power to heal parts of my anxiety. It's so important for us to teach girls that within them is their own self-healing journey, that if they just ask themselves on a moment-to-moment basis, what do I need right now? Chances are that they can be the deliverer of those needs. Now, there are times where we need to go to a doctor and we need to find the right teacher. Of course, we live in communities. This is not about not accessing the help when we need it, but it's about knowing when we are the ones who can give that to ourselves and knowing when to seek outside counsel and support. And that's really one of my favorite workshops. Another one of my favorites, I kind of feel like they're all my favorites. I am responsible for the world I see, teaching girls that when they change the way they look at things, the things they look at change. That's a Wayne Dyer quote, and isn't it the truth? We get to decide our perceptions. So often we think that we don't. We think that we're powerless, but we get to choose how we interpret the messages that are coming through us, the words that we use, the things that people say to us. And we get to choose an empowering and an inspiring perspective. Sorry that my phone is ringing. These are the things that happen when you are live. I'm just going to wait for the call to pass. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Marcy saying, change your perception, change your life. Indeed. And Angela is saying, sacral chakra space should be a focus to be unblocked. That is where we hold our emotions, feelings, creativity, and manifest from this space. Yes, absolutely. I love it. And I love that you're bringing your own magic, Angela, to this space. And that is, like I said, what lights up the GiRLiFE curriculum. It's not me. It's you coupled with these messages that help them to reach the girls in the way that only you can reach them. Next is my mind and body are connected. Who learned about the mind-body connection when they were younger? I surely did not. I learned it through experience. I learned it later in my life. I learned it through books. But to teach kids that their mind and bodies are connected, and to know that if that is in essence true, then what kind of information do we need to feed our minds so that our body feels good? Also, on the flip side, how do we need to care for our bodies so that our mind feels good? Our mind and body are in a consistent relationship with one another, feeding each other. They're really feeding each other, nourishing each other when we allow that to happen, but also harming each other when we allow that to happen. So teaching kids about the mind-body connection from a young age is everything. Katie says we are lovable while we are still healing. Always, Katie. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Next is my words create my world. We get to choose our words, and as Hafiz says, our words create the home that we live in, our inner home. So getting super mindful about the words that we allow to come out of our mouths and really thinking about them before we say them. My grandmother always used to say that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's because we need to listen first before we speak. And I want to take that even one step further and say we need to listen to what we are thinking and what we are about to say before we say it. So listen first. Get mindful about the words that you're choosing, because they are creating your experiences in the world. They're creating our realities. Imagine how unstoppable our girls would be if they just knew this stuff. We just give them a portal. We just give them access to the understanding that they can decide all of these things for themselves. And finally, last but not least, discovering my unique superpowers. I believe that every young girl comes into this world with a myriad of superpowers, right? Some of us have an affinity towards art and music and poetry. Some of us have an ear for a certain thing. Those are certain superpowers that we come into the world with. But there are superpowers that we acquire along the way. That's where the magic is. The ones that are revealed to us from the paths that we take in life, from the relationships that we're in, from some of the challenges that we experience. So we teach girls about the different types of superpowers. We teach them how to claim and own their own superpowers and to be open to all of the superpowers that will come their way throughout their journey in life. Those are the 17 workshops that we teach, the themes that we teach. There's so much more goodness coming your way this week. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the anatomy of a GiRLiFE workshop. What do we teach? How do we teach it? Why do we teach it? On Wednesday, you are going to meet our GiRLiFE coaches who are already out there doing this. I think 3 or 4 of them should be live with us. They'll be there to answer questions. They're really going to be your wayfinders. Have you ever heard that term? They will be your wayfinders to show you what it's like to be a woman who's already leading the way on the leading edge of this work. And they're so magical. And every time I get to speak to them, I'm lit up. So stay tuned for that. And then on Thursday, we'll talk in greater detail about how you can apply to be a GiRLiFE coach. And on Friday is a Q&A session on Zoom. So I just want to put that out there right now. On Friday, it is a Zoom session. It is not on Facebook Live. Luce is one of our amazing GiRLiFE coaches, and she's saying some beautiful things in the comments. It's a healing experience for the girls and for us coaches. That's so amazing to hear. It's been so lovely having you all here. Our GiRLiFE Coach Training Academy is open for enrollment. It's always open for enrollment. But for this week and next week until January 20th, we are offering $500 off of the tuition if you should decide to join us and apply by the 20th. The price of the program is $6,999. We also have payment plans available. You can see all of those plans and the information on our webpage, www.melodypourmoradi.com/academy. If you already know that you're ready to apply, I want you to set up a phone call with me, melodypourmoradi.com/call. This is a one-on-one Zoom call. We're going to hang out for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm going to learn about you. You're going to learn about me. We're going to see what kind of magic we can create together in this space. Everyone who applies will have a phone call with me. So if you already know you're in and that you want to apply for this program, I encourage you to set up your phone call now, because it's going to get crazy, because I'm doing a lot of phone calls in a short period of time, and I want you to get your space to have that conversation with me while we are in an open enrollment and while we have that $500 coupon available to you. So again, to set up your phone call, melodypourmoradi.com/call. Haley has put it all in the comments. I appreciate you, Haley. Thank you so very much. And finally, in case you missed it earlier, to get your syllabus, to find out about the earning potential of the GiRLiFE workshops, to get all the goodies, we've wrapped it all up in a bow for you in a gift. www.melodypourmoradi.com/info session is going to get you the gift that we have waiting for you. It has been such a joy to hang out with all of you here. Thank you for your time. I know that there are so many places that you can be right now, and the fact that you've chosen to spend time learning about our academy and learning how you can become a girls empowerment coach speaks volumes. It tells me the kind of woman you are, a woman who has it on her heart to elevate our next generation, who wants to be a part of the change that she so deeply wishes to see in our girls. I appreciate you all. I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye-bye.